What's up? Hey, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for tuning into Fun Speculation. I see lots of people already hanging out here ready for the stream. Whew. Yeah, I had a nice Sunday just listening to lots of shows, podcasts, watching a lot of football. Nice chill Sunday. First nice chill Sunday in a while, actually. And I decided, hey, why not have one of our impromptu streams? And because I've been thinking a lot about this. We talked about this specific topic a lot of times on our shows recently, and there's been a lot of rumblings in the air about possibly another internal pushback of Starfield and stuff like that. And I talked about it before. I'm sticking to my guns, but I'm gonna in this stream we're gonna talk about the reasons why, putting the speculation points together to give you the reasons why I think Starfield is still on track for the first half of this year. And I'll tell you why I think probable for March as well. But some may disagree with that, and that's okay. You know, this is all just for fun. But I think that maybe when I'm done with this, maybe when you see the points I'm putting out here, maybe you might agree. I don't know. We'll see. But thanks to everybody for joining in this random stream. I appreciate you all. I see lots, like I said, I see lots of awesome people. We already got like 30 people here hanging out for this just like random stream. WhySoSerious is here. Yeah, Jez said that. I watched him with Fonz as well on GTL just a little while ago. But Fonz also, and Jez also said it's just speculation, right? So I'll give the reasons why I'm still confident. What's up, Gone Mad? What's up, Talos Ray? Razor NZ is hanging out here. Def Leopard, what's up? Poochie, how's it going? Man, that's amazing people. Knock this, what up? WhySoSerious is here hanging out. Polybaba, yo, what's up? What's up, Polybaba? Andrew Colonane is here as well. AJH, you said, I hope you know you're missing the last of his show for this. Dude, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm going to check that out probably tonight. Like, we'll watch it in bed before we go to sleep. Polybaba says 11/23/23 on Thanksgiving is Starfield prediction. Who knows, man? Who knows? But I don't think so. We'll see. Alex is a Valve. What's going on, Punty? Wow, you guys are amazing. I do got a question. I posted a poll on the channel here on YouTube, and because I've been kicking around some ideas for this channel for this year, and I don't really. I want to do stuff that the community wants, right? But I also don't want to like put too much pressure on something I can't deliver at the same time, right? So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what I could possibly add to the channel in the best direction to do that with. And so I've always in the back of my mind, I'm trying to think about things, right? Right now we got 3 shows. We got FSP on Mondays. We got PM and the PM on Thursdays, and we got Xbox Ultimate on Fridays. And then I do game streams and stuff like that. So I did put a poll on the channel. And before we get started, I want to kind of ask your guys' opinion about this. So, all right. So if I was to add something else to the show, I mean, what would you guys like to see? Would you guys like to see more impromptu, like one person streams with kind of discussion with the chat, like Q&A, and maybe like go over like a topic or two? I was thinking about also maybe going over rumors with this show here today as well, after we get through talking about Starfield a little bit, some of the rumors that have been scale bound and stuff like that. Also, option, I could bring back Fun Pop. I don't know if there's a lot of people that are interested in that show or not, but that would be something that would be considered as well. More videos. Is that something you would like to see? Videos, more of those, or yeah, so just curious about your guys' thoughts on what you like to see in the channel. What's your kind of favorite content you like to see, and what you would want us to do, going forward. So there's no panel on this one. It's just me, man. This is just chilling, hanging out. This is not a podcast, Bean. This is just me here sitting there shooting the shit with you guys because you're all amazing. And I want to give my thoughts on Starfield and why I think that it's on track, right? So I'm gonna connect the dots on this thing for you guys, right? Lately there's been some speculation. I know Colt thinks it's September. He was saying that again in the chat today on GTL. He also had put out a poll on Twitter with June as the earliest date, as well. Jez was saying that his pessimistic view and speculative view, not anything to it, said potentially like October-ish as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of that going on right now. I think I haven't seen the video as well, but Maddie Plays, I think, had a video or something. Maybe he said it on a podcast. I'm not sure, where he said that he had like sources, I believe, that had said that it's getting pushed back again. So I'm not sure on that as well. So there's a lot of this getting kicked around. And honestly, part of the reason I feel like it's getting kicked around is because you noticed all of that speculation about Starfield started right after the announcement of the developer direct, right? So we got the announcement of the developer direct on, what was it, Monday of this week? Or maybe, actually it was before then, because I think Jez had actually kind of leaked that out, right, on Windows Central. And then was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't remember what day that they had actually officially announced the developer direct. And immediately following that, we have all of the speculation coming out around Starfield's going to be August, September, October, or whatever, right? And there was a lot of people kind of running with that, I think, all of a sudden. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm saying maybe it kind of coincided with their things that they were already thinking, right? Or maybe rumblings that they already have heard. But also there was other talk recently, like playtesters are playing it, it's exceeding expectations and all this stuff. But here we go. Like, so Tom from Toonami says, Maddie said he just can't beat, only needed a few more months. He thinks it needs like a year to finish. So I don't know what that's based on, right? Like, because if that was the case, right? If they had thought that originally, they would have lied to us on purpose at E3 last year. Like, they issued up the graphic. I put up the graphic on Xbox Ultimate, and I'll see. I got it right here. I think I can bring it back up again. Oh wait, is that the same graphic? Yeah, they had this graphic at E3, and it got put everywhere. Okay, and I'm gonna bring it up here. This graphic is. Let me bring it up. Yeah, this graphic is the graphic that they had at E3 that they put out there. Okay, this was like their big marketing push, right? So this is me starting to connect the dots. Okay, now they would have, if they knew it was going to be longer than a few months out, or 7 months actually. When they released this window here, it gave them 7 months, because this came out in June, right? This was at E3 last year. Okay, E3 was in the middle of June last year. So they released this release over the next 12 months, right? We see here, right here is Starfield, right? So if they knew it was going to be like a long time before release, I don't feel like they would have put this out. I feel like that would have been misleading, because that whole show they had at E3 was based around 12 months, right? So why do that unless you're confident, right? Why do that unless you're confident? I don't understand why you would do it unless you're confident. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get into some more reasons why. All right, I'm gonna give you more. So that's just the number one. That's the starting point. This is when we found out, right after the delay of Starfield, we found out it's not coming. It's coming later, right? It's coming later. We didn't know how long, right? Todd Howard came out and said that they just needed more time, and that's fine. I mean, we were devastated. Reverend Pong showed up on PM and the PM and had a funeral pretty much for 2022 for Xbox and Starfield. But besides that, there was no concerns. It's just like, okay, well, finally, they're gonna 2023 is gonna be amazing, right? First 6 months, they're sticking to it. They can't not deliver on that, right? Because whole show was based around that 12-month theme. So that's number one. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna get into more. Recently, as many have said and noticed, right, that the support page for Starfield has actually gone up on Bethesda's website. Okay. So that went up on Bethesda's website. Now, this happened a couple weeks back, and it kind of made the rounds and some of the news articles and stuff out there. So I'm going to bring that up. And this article here says, well, not the article, but the support page says, what is Starfield's release date? Right? This is a support page officially launched just recently. Just recently, this support page went up. So not only would they have been lying to us once, but if they knew it was going to get delayed again, they would have been lying to us twice. So I don't think that's the case, right? This support page says, what is Starfield's release date? And it's honestly, look, check this out. It's the first thing on the Q&A, related answers, right? Here's their website right over here. And you can go on the right-hand side. Go on the right-hand side. It says, what is Starfield's release date? Is the number one thing here. What is Starfield's release date? You click on that. Check this out. Starfield arrives exclusively on Xbox Series X and S and PC in the first half of 2023. It says it right there. Simply enough. Starfield arrives exclusively on Xbox Series X and S and PC in the first half of 2023. Again, mirroring the message that was delivered at E3 last year. Mirroring that. So that gives them until June, mid-June, right? But I don't think they're even going to wait till June. And here's why. Now, I've been thinking about this quite a bit. And tell me if this makes sense. Tell me if this makes sense to you guys, right? All right, so they are preparing, according to the Developer Direct website, which I'm going to go to now as well. It's on XboxWire.com. Here we go. I'm going to bring this up. This is fun speculation. This is like digging, right? I mean, it's not too much digging. This has all been public stuff. But, you know, I think some people forget things pretty easily and don't necessarily look at the words enough at times. But I think we're going to have some fun doing that here. Alvin, member for 7 months. Appreciate you, Alvin, says it's releasing on time. Folks are full-blown crazy. We'll see. It seems like a lot of people are behind this. And honestly, I think it's just because Starfield isn't at this show. I think that's why people are running with this right now, because I feel like they were already kind of hesitant to have trust in that, and they didn't feel like the Xbox would release this many games in such a short window, and like why release it if you can release it later and all these things. I'm saying stick to your promises. They had it at E3. They said within 12 months. Also, they said again just recently on the support page within 6 months. And I hear you, Punty. You don't trust Xbox and Bethesda as far as I could throw them with release dates anyway. I hear you too, but they got to buck that trend at some point, right? At some point, they got to stick to something that they say. And after the year that they knew where they were having at 2022 and all the shit they were going to get and all the bad stuff that was happening with people saying, well, then no games again, all this stuff, 2022 is a disaster for Xbox, all these things. To come out, if you knew that was going to happen, to come out and lie again purposefully doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Plus, also, we remember that Todd, before, with the 11/11 release date, he had before been so confident in that date that he said it was written in ink. He said it was written in ink, not pencil, right? So he was confident. He wasn't saying stone, but he said ink. So he was so confident in that they actually revealed the release date, which is something that they usually don't do unless they actually hit, right? With games from Bethesda, because they usually wait till later to announce those dates. But they did. They announced it because they were confident. I don't feel like you need a whole nother year almost if you're that confident in a release date. If Todd Howard himself was that confident in a release date, I don't think you need another year past that, right? I think that they gave them more time to figure out a couple things and get extra polish on the game I don't think the game was that broken enough that they needed a whole year, right? So Omatoni answers the question earlier. Says 2023 is going to be a loaded year for movies. I'd love to see Fun Pop come back. You read my mind. Maybe we can do that. I don't know. Either be Fun Pop, more of these kind of streams. We can maybe do more videos or something else, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, get back to this. Xbox and Bethesda to present the Developer Direct live stream on January 25th. I want to read into these words here. Read into these words. It says, Xbox and Bethesda will present a Developer Direct on Wednesday, January 25th, providing fans with an inside look at some of the games coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass over the next few months. Okay, so let's get into speculation here. Next few months. I did catch, again, GTL was today with Fonzarelli, Fonz Gaming. Absolutely amazing person in the community. Has an amazing show. I recommend everybody go watch that. And he had Jez on as a guest today. And Jez said he was like 80% sure that Minecraft Legends was going to be in March. Okay. So again, that correlates also with this. It says Game Pass over the next few months, right? Now you notice what's absent here is Starfield. And I think this is where a lot of the speculation comes from, because they said presented by the game creators themselves, from studios including Arcane Austin, Mojang, Turn 10, and ZeniMax Online Studios. The Developer Direct will focus on big features, extended gameplay showcases, and the latest info for Xbox games launching in the next few months, including Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall. I think people were looking into this and taking this and being like, well, that means that Starfield's not launching in the next few months, so they're just running with that thing here. But I will add here, check this out. What's up, Tony Grasso? How's it going, dude? To dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Game Studios' Starfield, a standalone show is in the works. Now, this is a big key thing here into why I think this game is before June, and I'll even go ahead and say March. Okay, I'm still running on the March train. I feel like a lot of people think I'm crazy for that. I don't. I feel like if you are to have the first big game out of the 3 to hit this year, I think it would make the most sense to have Starfield be your first big game, because it sets the benchmark in the future of Xbox. It's like Halo CE back in the day. It's that important of a title. And I feel like you can set the train rolling for the future of Xbox if you hit Starfield first. And I feel like it's ready. They've been polishing it. It's been in polishing phase. He said this on the Les Friedman interview as well, right? So let's get into why it's before June. Now, if they're already working on a standalone Starfield show, right? Why put that much effort into a big standalone Starfield show unless you're doing it reasonably soon before the launch of the game? Because your marketing has got to get fired up. You're going all full bore on this thing, right? Do you do that if it's coming out like in August or September? Are you already working on that show now? I don't think so. The support page says within the next 6 months. Xbox said it's within these next 6 months as well, according to their E3 last year. They're already working on a standalone show. How long does it take to do a standalone show for Starfield? I mean, it says it's in the works. They didn't say that if it wasn't going to be at somewhat reasonably soon, they would have not even mentioned it here, right? Because they know once people see this, people are going to be anticipating it, right? So I feel like there's a chance we're going to get this show somewhere in February or early March, okay? So this to dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Game Studios, Starfield, a standalone show is in the works. This has got to happen, I feel like, in late February, early March. They're already talking about it now. And if you were later than that, then why not just do it at E3? That's why I think it's before June. Do you see what I'm saying here? Right? Like, if you already got a standalone big Starfield show in the works, they're probably going to do one of those before the launch of the game. I mean, why would you do like more than one of those? Like, and you could, I think back to PlayStation and what they do. Like, a few weeks to a month before their game's release, they have a big, full-blown PlayStation State of Play about that game. And that's kind of what we talked about Xbox should do. And that's what we've been saying on this channel Xbox should do. Give the full-blown attention to those games. So if they said it's in the works, it can't be after E3, and it's not going to be part of E3. So all that leads up is to the months before E3, right? So now here's where we get into other things. There's rumors right now swirling around about Redfall being May. If Redfall's May, E3's in June, do you launch Redfall and Starfield the same month? I probably wouldn't, especially if you think Starfield is probably ready. If you think Starfield's decently ready, it's been in polishing phase for a long time now. If that's the case, if people are already playtesting it, it's already exceeding their expectations. The support page on there says it's within the next 6 months. If the actual E3 at last year said it's within the next 6 months, we already know there's a Starfield show in the works. Why do it in May? Okay, what about April? I could see you could do April. But then I look at, well, okay. The developer direct will focus on big features, extended gameplay showcases, and the latest info for Xbox games launching in the next few months. So that tells me Forza Motorsport is launching within the next few months. Well, if Redfall's in May, then that probably means that Forza Motorsport's in April, because we know that Forza Motorsport, according to an interview from one of the Turn 10 developers, was entering into polishing phase in January. So they need at least until April or May probably to release that game, unless they actually hit June. Forza could be the one that hits June. But even so, if you do that, but that's 5 months away. Do you say few if you're talking about 5? I'm thinking few is like 3 or 4, right? I mean, a couple is 2, that's obvious. A few is 3 or 4, maybe 5. 5 you could potentially say a few, but I'm saying April and May probably for Forza and Redfall. And then you add the speculation from Jez about Minecraft Legends potentially being in March. If you actually have Starfield and Minecraft Legends in the same month, that's not going to be on top of each other. That's not going to be in anybody's way. So that leads me back to March with Starfield. If you actually roll out there and you go out there with all these dates, we know Todd loves fun numbers. You know that he likes memorable days and stuff like this. You roll out there with either a 3-2-1-2-3 or a 3-2-3-2-3 release date and release Starfield. A couple weeks before that, you have the big Starfield show that they are already working on. And you are just hitting gold with that. If you actually picture this, picture the scenario for Xbox. They've had all year. They've had all year last year to think about this because they've had no big games coming out this year, right? They've had all year last year to plan this. They already got this new studio coming up, this new marketing plan going with Developer Direct. We already know they're going to do individual shows going forward about big releases as well. All of these different things. We know they go big at E3 usually as well, but we know this is new. They've had all year to think about this, all 2022. Since Starfield got pushed back, they have had all this time to think about what's the cadence going to be? How is it going to be? How are we going to make the most success for Game Pass? How are we going to make the most success for Xbox? How are we going to drive the most consumers to our platform? How are we going to do this? And if you are as smart as you could possibly be, you launch out the biggest banger you possibly could have with Starfield first in March of this year. You have that. You are setting the precedent for the future of Xbox. This is what to expect. Big games like this. This is where you can get them on Xbox ecosystem exclusive. Play it on PC. Play it on Game Pass. Play it on mobile in the cloud. Play it on your console. Play it on your TV. Play it on whatever. Starfield. Subscribe to Game Pass. Everybody plays it. Everybody's like, oh my God. Bethesda Game Studios is back. Biggest RPG, like Western RPG creator out there. Hits again. Starfield's incredible. You ride that wave, and now all of a sudden you got 2 more titles to look forward to in the Game Pass beyond Starfield. Starfield's the #1 draw. After that, you got to deliver still. So then you come with Forza, you come with Redfall. We already know Forza's going to kill it. Forza is like the pinnacle of sim racing games out there, right? It's the pinnacle of racers. No racing game has reviewed like Forza Motorsport over the last, almost 20 years now? Going back to the original Xbox, just consistently really good games. It's been the longest we've ever had without a Forza Motorsport. They took the time to reboot the engine. Not reboot the engine, but reboot the game. They're reworking the engine, adding new things to it, adding all this stuff. Forza is going to come out, and it's going to wow people. If you didn't see the E3 trailer for Forza Motorsport, you are missing some eye candy because it is absolutely the most stunning game we have seen graphically, period, point blank, yet. Forza is going to come out, and it's going to kill it. So that's going to be a slam dunk, right? That's going to be an absolute slam dunk. And then Redfall, all of a sudden, now everybody realizes it's not a Left 4 Dead clone. It's not a Back 4 Blood type game. It's an actual full-fledged arcane story-based game that happens to have a co-op mode, that happens to have co-op. And it's going to be bigger than any arcane game ever previously before. People are starting to realize, wow, this Redfall thing might be way bigger and better than we had all anticipated. If you come out with Starfield first, then you hit it with Redfall, and then you hit it with Forza Motorsport, talk about the 1-2-3 punch before E3, where you have a clean deck at that point, you have a clean slate, and then you can hit the world with your future of the next 12 months as well. That's how you do it. In order to make it work, Xbox has got to deliver on the promises that they've made. And when 2022 happened, when they came out at E3 last year and they said everything within the next 12 months, and they included Starfield on that, they got to hit on that. They got to hit on it, or else, guess what? Everything that they tell us at the next E3 doesn't matter anymore. Because that's another lie. It's another inconsistency. It's another lack of confidence, right? It's another reason to think, well, okay, well, are they ever going to deliver on anything they say? You know, this time they're going to do it. I have confidence. I hear everybody talking. I hear this stuff. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll have pie in my face. It's all possible, right? This is all speculation at the end of the day. But I strongly feel like Starfield will be out before June. And if I was to pick a date, I would say March. If not, if they don't actually hit that, I will say it's a disappointment because they didn't deliver again, and they continue to have this like disconnect with their announcements and what they deliver on. But I feel like this is new. I feel like this is new. I don't know, Susie. Like, if people are saying this is already decided, right? Here's the thing. I see what you're saying, Susie. Not a lie. Delays happen. Something as big as Starfield. I don't know. I hear what you're saying. But they just went up with that support page, and people are acting like that they've heard stuff, that this has been something that they all knew all along. This is going to take this long, right? That they're just willy-nilly going to just delay it for whatever reason, right? I feel like you got to stick by to what you say if you can. And I feel like they're going to. I feel like they're going to deliver. The support page just went up. The support page just went up a couple weeks ago, and it says within the first 6 months. I got confidence in it. I got confidence in it still. I'm the noise that's out there. I'm like, no. I don't want to hear it right now because I don't want to let it affect me because I don't know if anybody actually knows anything, right? I hear people say they got sources or whatever, you know, but come on, like they just put the support page up. If people in our community are already hearing things, then that means that they got to know. And if they got to know, they got to let us know. If they know now, they got to let us know. And so they haven't. I feel like I'm confident in this thing because I feel like they keep reiterating this. Why are you already working on a Starfield showcase, a deep dive to give it the attention that it deserves? if you're not planning on releasing the game anytime soon? Why would that already be in the works? It's got to be, because otherwise you could just do it at E3. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys agree with me. I'm trying to sell you on my speculative ideas here, but I'm only running with the things that are out there to the public, right? I'm only running with the stuff that is out there in the public view, the stuff that has been directly from the mouths of Xbox, directly from the mouths of Bethesda only. And if I put all that into perspective, if I add all that up, then I'm talking about June at the latest, but probably March, April, or May. And I think March makes the most damn sense. You're already working on the showcase. How long does it take? How long does it take to plan a Starfield show, a deep dive? How many? Does it take 1 month? Does it take 2 months? I feel like we're going to have it in a couple weeks, like maybe a month or two. Maybe. But February, early March, release date 3/23/23, 3/2/1/23 makes the most sense. Follow it up again with Redfall and Forza Motorsport, or Forza then Redfall in that order, and you just had a slam dunk first half, historic first half of the year for 2023, and then you follow it up with the excitement of E3 coming right up, and then get to tell us what's coming in the fall. Hell yeah. I'm down with that. I mean, it seems like, I mean, if it has to be delayed again, they got to come out and tell us why specifically, right? If something of those has to be delayed again, they got to come out and they tell us specifically why. Like Starfield, we're pushing it to August because we couldn't hit 60 frames, right? Unless we delayed it, and we want that 60 frames mode. Whatever. So something that's like a reason why. But I don't think it's happening. I think we're gonna get it. It's been in polishing mode for too long now. So anyway. All right. So that, I mean, that I put it together. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be an amazing showcase that they have there though. And I think that there's reason to be confident right now with Xbox. And you know, maybe some in the community are pushing that because they don't want people to be disappointed if it happens, and they're trying to set that up. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to set up the expectation of like another thing. And I don't know, man. I don't think if they're already hearing that from other sources or whatever, I don't think that's the right way to go about it either from like Xbox's side, if they were leaking stuff intentionally to people to get them to ease the masses in order to prep them for a possible disappointment. You know what I mean? Like, it just stick to what you said. If you can't deliver, come out and be upfront about it. Tell us exactly why, and do it as soon as you know. Because if people in the community act like they know, like the people that said they had sources that told them something, I'm not talking about Jez. Jez said it was just his pessimistic point of view. Like he was just speculating, right? But other people said like sources, right? So if you're talking about sources, then like that means they know. And if they know, then that's fucked up that we don't know. So I don't think that's happening. Right? I mean, otherwise, like that'd just be disappointing. I'm really excited for whatever that deep dive is going to be for Starfield. I think it's going to be like one of the most watched things Xbox has had in a while. This will too. But we're getting probably release dates at this show on January 25th. I bet we're getting release dates for Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall, right? So we'll know a lot. We'll know a lot about the plans at that time. We'll see where they line up. Aaron Greenberg said next few months. Their actual website just says next few months. Those games are hitting in the next few months. I'm excited. It's a great time to be an Xbox fan. Yeah, Sky L says they are giving Starfield a show, which is probably at least 30 minutes. I think Todd is going to come out at E3. Yeah, like Starfield thing is like, that's got to be a pre-release thing to me. You know, like right before the game comes out, like a couple weeks before the game comes out, right? Otherwise, why do it then? Why not just do it later? So it just makes sense, you know? Again, E3, June, you could just wait if you wanted to, if it was that far off. I feel like there's no reason to think that they aren't confident about this right now with everything that we see. Shout out to Lemon. I see you hanging out. 108 Dragons. I saw Dirt Griggity hanging out here. Shout out to all the content creators out there making great gaming content. 3-Bit's hanging out. He can't speak at all. He's 3-Bit's been muzzled by Microsoft for at least 30 days. So you won't get to see him on any of our shows for a while. But shout out to 3-Bit. Alvin says that Starfield will be 60. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. I'm curious because I've seen like both on this, like big time. Will Starfield have a 60 FPS mode? Wait, I just typed in the chat. I didn't do a poll. Okay, hold on. Let me do this poll. I'm such an idiot. Here we go. Start a poll. Okay, there we go. What's up, J Mac? How's it going? Thanks everybody for watching. We got 88 people here hanging out on an impromptu Sunday night stream. We just got done talking a lot about Starfield, and I put the points together why I think it's coming out in probably March, but before E3 for sure. It's possible it could be like at E3 a release date. I guess that would be a possibility as well. But they would have to have that show, the Starfield show, before then. So you were talking about needing at least 4 months to prep that show. Because if you're having that show before E3, then like you would still want to do that show pretty close to before release. So you're talking about 4 months to prep a show that's in the works. It doesn't make any sense. Why would it be in the works if it took them 4 months? You know, why is it in the works now if it's not coming out in the next few months? Alvin says you'll ship me a 3080 if it's not 60 FPS. That's how confident I am. Okay, right on, dude. I can't even put a 3080 in my PC. I would need to upgrade my power supply, my motherboard, my everything. I'm the dummy that doesn't know how to build PCs, and I get pre-builds because I'm afraid of breaking something. I can't even build a PC in PC Building Simulator. They keep getting blue screen when I try and overclock them by like a little bit. Yeah, I suck. But yeah, like eventually I will build a PC eventually, and I will need y'all's help when I do it. I'll do it on live stream eventually when I build a PC, and hopefully that people that know what the hell they're doing will watch and guide me along the process. Yeah, right on, Lemon. Appreciate you, bro. All right. So anyway, those are the reasons I think I put it all together. I don't know like if everybody agrees or not, but I feel like I put my case out there. I put the facts out there. I could have even remember once that Todd said like needed a few more months or something like that. I could be wrong about that, but it's like in the back of my brain. I wouldn't know where to look for that. So I just feel like it was something I remember him saying like right after the delay, but who knows? Apollo says it's crazy to think once Starfield is out, the next big talk will be Elder Scrolls 6. Oh my god, dude! You want to talk about Starfield hype? You want to talk about Starfield hype? If Starfield hits, especially, right? Like let's say Starfield hits and everybody loves it, like they did Skyrim and Fallout games and everything that Bethesda Game Studios has done with their big single player RPGs. If Starfield hits and actually delivers, which I believe it will, the amount of hype for Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be insane. I mean, you're talking about the follow-up to Skyrim at that point. You're talking about one of the most beloved games of all time. You're talking about like a genre-defining game. You're talking about a game that has lived on for over a decade and just sold on every platform under the sun at this point. 360 versions, you got Xbox One versions, you got Series X and S versions, you got Switch version, you got PC version, PS4, PS4 Pro, PS5. I mean, it's like that game is crazy. And you're talking about the follow-up to that, right? I feel like a lot of people forget who Bethesda Game Studios is. They look at things like Fallout 76, and they look at things like Elder Scrolls Online, which is not even them at all. This is like ZeniMax Online. But Fallout 76, they had some involvement in, but it wasn't their primary studio. Like the primary studio had support on that game. It gets thrown in here because Todd's over multiple studios now, and Todd Howard's name's attached to it. He's out there marketing and stuff like this. But this was not their Fallout 76 was not their A team of single player RPG builders that go out there and build a universe and a world that we get to explore with storytelling and all this stuff. It was meant as a online find your own fun type experience. They didn't even have any NPCs or anything in that damn game when it launched, right? And I feel like they realized the mistakes they made with the design of it and the bugs it had and all that stuff, which every Bethesda game's can have bugs, right? But this was not that team. This is the team that made Fallout 4 that's making Starfield, right? We're talking about the team that went on from making Morrowind to making Oblivion to making Fallout 3 to making Skyrim to making Fallout 4 to making Starfield. They've been working on Starfield since Fallout 4 released. They've been working on it that long. They started production on it about 2 months after Fallout 4 launched. And before that, it was in still a pre-production phase with planning and storytelling. This is a game that Todd Howard's been dreaming about making for years. I remember listening to interviews with him back in the day, talking about one day he would love to do a space game. He would love to do a sci-fi game, a space sci-fi adventure type game to go along with his post-apocalyptic game and his fantasy game, right? His medieval fantasy game. Like those was his three pillars. They finally had the opportunity. They knew that people wanted Elder Scrolls again. They knew that people wanted more Fallout, but they said, if we don't do it now, we'll never get the opportunity. And so he said, let's go ahead and do it. And they decided to do Starfield. Starfield was early in the works. People in rumblings got word of it all over game publishers everywhere. Platform holders. Sony tried to get exclusivity on this thing like they did with Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Microsoft comes and gets Bethesda Game Studios and ZeniMax, and this is now an Xbox exclusive. And in an interview also with Todd, he talks about how now they're able to focus on optimizing more for Xbox because the PlayStation isn't in the picture. We'll be able to finally realize with a lot of these games coming out the next few months what the actual hardware is capable of. I don't know how Starfield's like an ambitious, crazy thing, right? So who knows exactly what that's going to be. But I'm going to end the poll here, and the poll says, yes, Starfield will have a 60 frames per second mode. I hope so. It's at 77% yes, 22% no out of 49 votes. So according to the chat, we're getting 60 frames. We'll see. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be the biggest game they've ever made. And they've already talked about how the engine that they've worked on, they've used the creation engine for Starfield, but this is the next version of it, right? And they're taking what they learned and what they've built to make Starfield, and they're taking that and they're even expanding upon it even more to make the next Elder Scrolls game. So that's going to be exciting. But I want to get into another rumor real quick. Now, we do have other shows this week coming up. We got the FSP tomorrow night, and we got PM and the PM on Thursday. But who knows? Mondays is a day for news a lot of times, right? We'll see if we get any news tomorrow, because tomorrow's also a holiday, right? So I don't know exactly what we're going to have happen tomorrow. But let's say there is some news tomorrow that maybe that'll lead the topics for tomorrow night, but we'll see and plan on that. But right now, there's a rumor going around, started by Special Nick from Xbox Era Podcast. I don't have his exact quotes on me. I didn't watch the show. All I know is everybody's saying that Nick, Special Nick said this right now, and he's said that Scalebound could be an early like development or something with Platinum. Again, Scalebound. Talking about Scalebound again. Yes, this is out there. I don't know where this is coming from, but I know that Special Nick said it. So he's been right about things before. But it is very like interesting. Like, do y'all think this is true? That's my first question to the chat. Do y'all think this is true? And if it is true, would you be okay? Would you want this game? Is the Scalebound rumor true? So I'm trying to find the exact words here. I know it was spread around our DMs and stuff. Okay. It's very, very early. Thanks, Pong, for sending this to me, dude. It says very, very early, but he's been told that Platinum Games is working with Xbox again to look at bringing back Scalebound. Okay, that's his words. Is that actually happening? Now, some in the community are like, don't like to say an F you Platinum. You've F'd over Xbox once. You're never getting another chance, right? You fool me once. It's on me, it's on you. Fool me twice, it's on me, right? And I understand that thinking. I understand that thinking a lot, right? Personally, I wouldn't mind it. Personally, I wouldn't mind it. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not at all, right? This could be something that's just thrown up in the air that nobody has any way of telling ever if it's true or not, because if it doesn't happen, then it could have been like, well, like they had talked, but they didn't ever come to an agreement. Like, this is one of those rumors that's easy to throw away, right? If it does ever get announced, it's this little small nugget that you threw out there years ago, and you could be like, look what I did. I said this first, right? But Special Nick has been right about things before as well. So like, who knows? Track record, I don't know. I don't know enough about hits and misses. I know he's had some legitimate stuff for sure. But I don't know. I mean, there was like, I think he did the Killer Instinct rumor about shopping around to different studios before as well, and things like that. And sometimes we never hear anything about these things again, and it just gets kind of forgotten. And then if they were to hit, it'd be like, look, look what I did, right? So I'm not trying to say he's putting out fake information. What I'm trying to say is sometimes things could be educated guesses, or maybe somebody told him something that maybe they feel like they're confident in, but they don't know 100% either. And I don't know. I don't know the source. I didn't hear everything, but I'm just saying sometimes you swing for the fences on little things, and like maybe they come true or maybe they don't, right? But let's assume that maybe this is true, right? Maybe that let's say that this is true. I'm okay with it. Like, here's the reason why. I do like these kind of games. I like Japanese style, like action games, right? I played the first Bayonetta. I really liked it. I played some of Bayonetta 2 as well. I don't think I finished it. That's just on me though. I'm a grazer. I don't finish a lot of games, but I did like it. I thought it was pretty good. I feel like there's a lot of people that hate Platinum because they fucked Microsoft. They also released some bad games, right? They just had one that I can't forgive them about, Babylon's Fall. They just fucked over an entire consumer base. Anybody that bought Babylon's Fall for $70 just got screwed, right? You buy it for $70 a year after release, they make it unplayable. Even if you had a disc, nothing, just unplayable. That's not cool with me, right? And that's not just on them, it's on Square. They made a bad game, Square cut it off, all that kind of stuff. It's on Square, it's on them. It was a PlayStation exclusive also. Babylon's Fall is a huge failure. However, you come out also, they got a huge hit with Bayonetta 3, right? Platinum is one of those studios that makes good games and then they make bad games. Also, you have Astral Chain, you got things like Nier Automata, and then you got games like Bayonetta 3, and then you have your Babylon's Falls, right? You have games like that, right? So I feel like there's reason to hope they could deliver something good. Now, the reason why I would be okay with it is because I was excited for Scalebound. I thought it looked pretty cool. It was a cool idea. Riding on a dragon with your Beats by Dre, and whatever world that was like that they were doing. I don't know. It just like it looked like it could be stupid fun. I was interested in it. I remember how people were like really disappointed when that was canceled. Right? It was like another big L at the time for Xbox. The other reason I feel like I'm okay with it though is because if Xbox gets fucked on this again, I don't really care because they have so many other games in the works. They have like 50 games they're working on for all these different studios. They're even trying to acquire ABK. If this rumor happened to be true and they were working on Scalebound, if like they got screwed over by Platinum again, it's not like we're counting on it as much as we were Scalebound back in the day. This would just be like an extra nice addition to the platform, to the portfolio, another big time Japanese type game to add to it. And if it didn't work out, so what? It's not one of the only big exclusive games on Xbox that people were looking forward to, right? There's so many other games now. There's like a shit ton that they have working on that for people to be excited about. So Scalebound doesn't hold the same weight as it would with a cancellation or they got fucked by Platinum. So I'm not worried about it if they went into business with Platinum again, right? I'm not a big fan of Hideki Kamiya personally. I think he is rude. I think he is kind of an asshole to people. I don't like his personality. Besides that, the guy makes pretty damn good games, right? So I don't know. If it doesn't happen, I don't care either. Xbox has so many damn things in the works to be excited about. I don't need Scalebound, right? I don't think any of us need Scalebound to be excited about Xbox's future and all these games. So if they have it, they have it. And if they don't, they don't. I'm cool either way. But I don't have it's not my wallet, right? It's Microsoft's wallet. If they want to take that chance and potentially gamble it on Platinum again, that's on them, not on me. Like, I don't care. Like, I got like $1 trillion company, you know, it's not going to bother me if they waste money again, you know, but it hurt us so bad last time because Xbox got the blame for it and they didn't really like come out and defend them. And we don't know all the reasons why, but I personally don't care either way, right? But it would be cool. I would like to play it if it came out. I would be excited to play it for sure. Pong Soul's hit me up in the DMs like a madman. He's sharing this in every DM group possible known to man. And this is from Idle Sloth. Black Myth Wukong launches in summer 2024. The developer Game Science announced in a short film released in celebration of the lunar year. Specific platforms other than PC were not confirmed. Okay. And they've got a little image here. I don't know where this image came from. But I'll show this image. Why does the disc look so weird? It looks like it's made out of Play-Doh or some shit. Is this image legit? Like, cause it looks like the box is melted. And why does it look like a furry creature's holding it? This is weird. But anyway, the developer Game Science, I guess this is from the short film that the announcement was made. But anyway, this is from Idle Sloth. Shout out to Pong for sending this to me. Black Myth Wukong. Would that be a miss if it doesn't come out on Xbox? I mean, should Xbox really go out and do what they need to do to make sure this game is on the platform? It's got a lot of hype. got a lot of hype. Black Myth Wukong. This is that game from China that had the like I see that, Apollo. 1 second, bro. I'm about to get to it. This is a game from China that has like the Chinese mythology. It's got like the monkey looking dude that runs around and stuff like that. So it's a small team out of China that's like making mind blowing stuff, and it's got a lot of hype online. Some people don't know if it's too good to be true or what, right? But we did get that $2 super chat from Apollo Cooper. Thank you, Apollo. Appreciate you, bro. 100%. He says, if Xbox once shot down Project Star Wars 13. Oh, if Xbox once shot down Project Star Wars 1313. So you're saying if Xbox wants to revive a shot down project, get Star Wars 1313. Yeah, I could see. I mean, here's the thing. I think personally, I think that massive game from Ubisoft is probably a bounty hunter game. There was a rumor about a bounty hunter game coming out from a studio that was Star Wars based for a while, and they didn't say Ubisoft. And I think that rumor was actually incorrect. I think that rumor, whoever put that out there got it mixed up. And I think it was the Ubisoft Star Wars game made by Massive Entertainment and the Snowdrop engine. I feel like that's a bounty hunter based game. I don't have any sources on that. It's just speculation, right? But with the facts that we're throwing out there, I feel like it could be that, right? And if that was the case, it could be really cool, right? So you're saying the Star Wars 1313 game? I will say depends on what that Ubisoft game is. Or what other... There's like 8 Star Wars games in the works right now. There's the fucking Star Wars game from EA, or Jedi Survivor. I think they announced they're making more as well. Then we got another one from Amy Hennig's team at Skydance New Media. Then you got that David Cage game from that. We'll see if that ever happens. That game ever comes out. But that's another Star Wars game. It's in the works. There's like, they're handing out Star Wars games like candy right now. They're also handing out Marvel games like candy right now. Like Disney is willing to work with anybody, pretty much. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let me get to this. My phone's blowing up right now. And I don't know if it's my DMs. My DMs sometimes blow up when I'm on the show. And okay, Psycho sent me what this is from. Is that from what is that from, Psycho? Like, is that the bunny guy that's from that had the game? That's interesting. Anyway, all right. What do you guys, would y'all play I mean, are y'all going to boycott Scalebound if it comes out? I mean, are you just going to play it anyway? I mean, like, I'm going to play it. I'll be excited about it if they bring it back. Star Wars, lots of stuff out there. Marvel. Here's the thing. If you were to ask me though, like, if we want like Xbox to make more licensed games, which we know Bethesda's willing to, right? Bethesda's willing to do those licensed games. They already have the Indiana Jones game, right? And besides that there's been rumors about them working on a Marvel game as well with Roundhouse Studios was the rumor that they could be working on a Marvel game or something. And I think that came from Skullsy. I could be wrong about that. But there was a rumor about Roundhouse Studios potentially making some licensed game, superhero. And people are thinking it could be Marvel, right? So if that was the case, right? Bethesda's already working with Marvel. They're already working with for the Indiana Jones, working with Disney for that as well. Or Lucasfilm, Game Studios, whoever they got to work with. Like, they're willing to do these licensed games, right? So that kind of translates good into Xbox. Also, we know Activision Blizzard has a big history of doing licensed games in the past as well. Xbox will be acquiring them. At that time, I think it opens the doors more for Xbox to experiment more with licensed games. And if you're asking me to go out and get a license, I say, yeah, Star Wars would be cool, but go out and get fucking X-Men. X-Men. Dude, there's not like an X-Men game out there. Like, why? Why? Go out and get X-Men. X-Men's about to come back big time with the MCU at some point in the next few years. At that point, you would be like crazy not to get on that train, right? Go and get X-Men, bringing back X-Men into gaming in a big way. You could your follows in line. You could do your multiplayer stuff like Xbox likes to do. X, it makes sense, right? It just makes too much damn sense. So like, why not just roll with that, Xbox? All right, so guys, appreciate everybody watching this stream. If you do like the content here on the channel, hit the like button, share and subscribe, and all the fun stuff. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out. I want to do a little Q&A. There's this feature here on YouTube I've never tried before. So it says Q&A. I don't know. Okay, ask me questions. I'm just going to put it in there. Start Q&A. Do y'all see something that shows up? There's like, if you're in YouTube chat, there's like a thing here that I just did. I've never tried this before, so I don't know how it works, right? But I just put a Q&A in there. If somebody has a question, if somebody could try and attempt to make it work, I would be very interested into seeing how this works. It's supposed to be a YouTube feature. I've never seen anybody use this before. Maybe some people do. Okay, we got questions showing up. Wow, this is amazing. We'll go in order. All right. 3-Bit says, do you think Xbox is going to have any surprises for the 25th? That's a very good question. I think one small surprise. Nothing big. If there is something semi-big, it would be that grub rumor about the Tango Gameworks game, Hi-Fi Rush. An announcement of that, potentially, because that's something that could get overshadowed with other bigger announcements later in the year as well. And maybe a Game Pass deal for something else, right? Something for February, or first week of February or something. Besides that, I don't know. I don't think there'll be big surprises. I think that maybe there could be like just a little thing, right? I do think at the end of this, we potentially could see or find out when that Starfield show will be. It would make sense for me for them to market that at this event, right? Like, here, you notice Starfield's not here, everybody, because there's a lot of people that don't read about what's in these shows. There's people that just tune into it or just watch, and they'll be like, where's Starfield, you know? Even though they've already told us it's not going to be there, it's going to be something else. But I think they should mention it. But if you actually put the date of that at the end of this event, I think that will make some sense. Unless it's in March, then it's maybe a little early to put the date out for it. But maybe they could say, in March, we're going to have this, right? Psycho asked if I like pussycats. That's a great question, Psycho. I had a cat for 21 years, and I liked him most of the time. I did. Calarie says, did you ever cover the Quantum Break news yet? Okay, so is there news or is this just discussion? Because I saw like Jez Corden from Windows Central, I think, put out there about bring back Quantum Break, and then like Sean Ashmore had retweeted it saying like I'm down, or quote tweeted it saying I'm down. If that happened, that would be pretty cool. But I don't know, is that news or is that just like discussion, right? Like, would you guys want another Quantum Break? I didn't finish Quantum Break. I kind of liked it. I thought that I got kind of bored, honestly. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Pong Soul says, where's the animal crackers? They are right here. And I think they're expired. I never finished them. Yeah, the date says September 2022. So that's the Best Buy date. I don't know. I mean, I could eat them. What do you guys think? Should I? I mean, I'm not going to get poisoned for a Best Buy date, right? Next studio Xbox should acquire. Steven asks. That's a very good question. Next studio Xbox should acquire. Certain Affinity. I think Xbox needs to lock up Certain Affinity. That just makes the most sense. Now, Certain Affinity is not the one I want the most, but if you're telling me which one they should acquire, I would say out of studios that if you're talking about publishers, Sega. Studios, I think they should, or WB Discovery. If you're talking about publishers, I'm saying they should buy WB Discovery or Sega. If you're talking about studios, I'm talking about just Certain Affinity. Certain Affinity, I feel like it's tied to a lot of franchises that Xbox has, especially if they get the ABK deal closed. They have ties to Call of Duty. They got ties to Halo. They got ties to multiplayer gaming. Max Holberman, who's the founder of Certain Affinity, is like a legend with multiplayer gaming. He's done multiplayer modes for several big-time titles at Certain Affinity. They've always supported Halo games as well. He was the original creator of the matchmaking system that every game pretty much uses now with Halo 2, right? So I feel like Certain Affinity would be, you need to lock those guys up, because if those guys were to get acquired by like somebody like a Sony or somebody like that, it could actually be detrimental to your games, right? It could be detrimental to your games not to have them at your disposal. And I think that's one of the reasons they should lock them up and actually acquire them. If they want to be acquired, I would think it's a very important one to try and acquire. Also, there's rumors about them having a Monster Hunter style game in the works that's being published by Microsoft. And that would be a project Suerte, I think. Buena Suerte, I think is what it's called. And that's supposed to be like an Xbox exclusive Certain Affinity game. I feel like they just have so many ties that if somebody else got them, it wouldn't be a good thing, right? So I think they need to acquire Certain Affinity. Nikita Percy says, what superhero IP would you like Xbox to make? And who would be your choice of developers? Ooh, what superhero IP would X-Men, 100%. If you consider, I mean, X-Men are mutants, right? So technically not superheroes, but I would say X-Men. That's my choice. And if it has to be a technical superhero besides a mutant, then I would say Flash. But that would be really hard to make a Flash game. So I might take that back. Y'all consider Ninja Turtles superheroes? No, probably not, because they're mutants too. Man. That's a good question. Number one, X-Men, for sure. Besides that, I mean, here's Green Arrow. Green Arrow is fucking badass. Underutilized. Green Arrow, 100%. You could his bow abilities and all that stuff. You could do a nighttime city and stuff, like Star City. It'd be fucking incredible. Is he in Star City? No, wait. Star City is Flash. Where's Green Lantern at? I know he's in a shitty place. I don't remember. I watched a lot of Arrow, but I can't remember. Yeah, definitely Oliver Queen, Green Arrow. That would be a good one if it has to be a superhero. Apollo Cooper says Xbox exclusive Superman game by the Coalition. That'd be really cool. There was a guy that made a demo of a Superman game out of the, he modded the Matrix demo that was out there for a UE5 demo, and he modded it and made it into a Superman game. That looked really cool. So if you could do that in UE5, right? Coalition is masters of UE5. That would make a lot of sense. It'd be a very different kind of game for them. Sky L says, how do you think Starfield will be to casuals, the mainstream? I think this is a system seller game. I think Starfield is a attention everybody look at us. We have this game type of game. And I think it will get the attention of the casuals. I think it will get the attention of the masses and the mainstream. I think it's going to be marketed big time. I forgot to say this earlier when I was doing all my speculation about the damn release date for Starfield. Rumors are also potentially out there about them doing a Super Bowl commercial for Starfield, which would make a lot of damn sense. I'm thinking that is a guess as well. Maybe not necessarily a rumor. Who knows? But if that would just make too much damn sense, especially if the game's in March, right? You go full bore marketing on that thing, and you start the marketing train with that Super Bowl commercial leading up into the Starfield other show thing you have in March, right? And then you have the release date 3/23/23. Yeah, I think that is going to draw in a lot of the masses and draw attention to Game Pass, which is what they want. Punty says, hey, do I think that Cyberpunk is going to shadow on Game Pass? Oh, shadow drop on Game Pass during the Xbox show at the end of this month. Any inside info? I'm not an insider at all. I don't get any inside info whatsoever. I have fun speculation guesses. I look at things out there in the public view and try and put my educated guesses together and put out my perspective on what I think could be possible. And a lot of times we're right here on this channel. A lot of times we are. Sometimes way too far in advance, and nobody listens to us because everybody thinks we're crazy. And then 2 years later, it turns out everything we said is true. But who knows? Says, hey, Mav, yeah, I don't know about that one. I think that would be really cool. But it would be part of a whole Game Pass sizzle reel type thing if they were to include something like that at the event. Maybe it could be possible. Cyberpunk would be a big deal and draw a lot of attention if it went to Game Pass. So it'd be a good move, but I don't know. There's so many different things that could happen. Apollo says, I know we always talk about this, but do you think this is one of those years like 2021 where Xbox just starts blasting on all cylinders with announcements like a new Doom or an Elder Scrolls 6 trailer? I think they're going to probably go ahead and start focusing on the 12-month thing if they can stick to that, if they actually can nail it, right, and actually follow through on that and deliver, then I think they will kind of stick to that. But maybe we'll get like a couple of new announcements here and there, right? But I do feel like Xbox is going to dominate news this year with games. They're going to dominate the first half of this year, even if I'm wrong, even if Starfield was later, then you still got Redfall, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends. You got all these Game Pass deals. You got like games like Wolong. You got Day One. You got games like Monster Hunter Rise Day One and Game Pass. You have other games hitting in 2023 as well, and for Day One and Game Pass, like Replaced, Hollow Knight, Silk Song. So many big things. You got Stalker 2 hitting this year. You got Atomic Heart hitting Game Pass Day One as well. You're going to dominate the news landscape with games this year, right? With games, point blank, right? So if they may or may not like show things further away or brand new announcements, the thing is, why I think that they will still have a couple of those is because of the amount of damn games that they have. But I think when they announce these games, they're not going to be like 4 years away, right? They're not going to do like what they did to us with Fable and Perfect Dark and those kind of things, and State of Decay 3. They're not going to do to us what they did with that. I think they have enough games coming out and enough games that are sooner that they can put the attention on. Like we've already seen Hellblade 2 a few times now, right? I think Hellblade 2 may be the next game. Hellblade 2 maybe fall of 2023, and maybe this year. Wouldn't it be crazy this year after all this first half that we know we're going to have to potentially have Hellblade 2 at the end? It's possible. We could end up looking at a year where there's like 9 or 10 first-party games, several of them being big. You still also have Age 2 Definitive Edition and Age 4 coming out on consoles as well. You have Ara hitting on PC Game Pass this year as well. Who knows? Maybe they'll get a future Xbox console version. I don't know. I think they are going to hit on all cylinders, but I don't know. Like you mentioned Doom, right? I think the next id game is Quake, probably. That's what I would hope so, because we've seen Doom a lot. Maybe they bring back Quake so that way they can have a 1-2 punch there with Doom and Quake, right? Elder Scrolls 6 trailer, I don't think we're going to get that. not for quite some time. Big Mad Mo says, do you like the name they have for this show, or what would you name it? I wouldn't mind Inside Xbox again. I think not. I think it's a good idea to go with a different direction than Inside Xbox, because people already have in their mind what Inside Xbox is, and that may lessen the excitement for the show if you're just assuming it's like an Inside Xbox, because those were okay. Nobody really got. We got some decent stuff out of it, but I don't think a huge excitement level for Inside Xboxes, right? But the developer direct, I like it depending on what the show is. If the show is what they say it is, with long gameplay showcases, showcasing game features and stuff like that, I'm liking that, because we can actually hear from the devs themselves, sit down and see the transparency of what these games are. I love that. I think the name will hit if the show's good, right? I don't know if it necessarily matters what it's called as much as if the show being good adds credibility to the name, right? Because if this show is good and people like it and they like the information they got, then they're going to be looking forward to the next developer direct. You know what I mean? Developer says, I got stuck at the end of Quantum Break. Yeah, I got stuck in one part too, and I kind of stopped playing it. Guardian Black says, what do you think about Microsoft buying Crytek? I think that would be a good move, not only for Xbox, but also for Crytek. I think that Crytek is kind of not they're a shell of who they used to be. People forget that Crytek originally created Far Cry. They created Crysis. They made these huge open worlds. They're masters at creating a engine where you can have lots of fun with creation within it as well. The map editors in Far Cry were insane. If they could get Crytek and have another, you want to talk about people that know how to make an open world first-person shooter, it's Crytek. You can't bring them in, you give them a full Xbox funding and all that kind of stuff, stabilize them. The potential there is huge. They know how to build engines. The engines have had trouble at times as well, but like their engine works so good, the Cry engine, for the games that they have been making. And I would love to see what they could do with the big open world first-person shooter under the Xbox umbrella. So I would be all for it. That's a good question. Susa says, you think Redfall will get Horizon Forbidden West treatment due to releasing the same year as Starfield? No, because I think Horizon Forbidden West had a lot of high expectations about it because it was a follow-up to Horizon, but there was less excitement about it just because, guess what? The original Horizon is still a like well thought of game, but it's not like it God of War, right? Like just be honest here. It's not Spider-Man or God of War, right? Horizon is a good franchise that they made that is hitting, and a lot of people like it, and it has its fan base and stuff, but it's not God of War. It's not with a Spider-Man, right? It's not Uncharted. It's not The Last of Us, right? I feel like Redfall is a wild card. Wild card is like it's a new IP, brand new game, right? Nobody knows what to expect. It has like our expectations are based on just the news articles and the little bit of trailers and stuff we've seen. We haven't played a game like a Redfall from Arcane before. I honestly feel like the lack of, I hate to say this, but I feel like the lack of success, we want to call that, for Forbidden West was just because of a lack of excitement in general for it. Redfall's excitement is going to come depending on what people play. If it hits, it's going to explode. If it comes out and it's just then it'll be and that'll be it, right? It'll be completely dependent on how good this game is. I think people's excitement is starting to get higher as they realize it's a bigger game than it ever people originally thought out. But it's also very different. It's a different experience that people aren't going to have had before with a multiplayer co-op game like from Arcane in this kind of world like that, single with a story that is playable in single player and stuff. It has a chance to hit critically. It also has a chance to hit with the masses, being available on PC day one with Steam, PC Game Pass, all the cloud services as well, and on the Xbox consoles with multiplayer, crossplay, and the whole shebang. So I think it has a good chance for success. All right, let's see what else. All right, next question. Also, do you think Xbox will do another initiative slot where they announce new studios they've acquired, with ABK being one of them? From Apollo Cooper. Shout out to Apollo. If they have any, but I don't think that'll happen until after ABK, right? If I don't know, I feel like they didn't acquire some studios they could have because of the ABK deal. And maybe when the ABK deal closes, they go ahead. The interesting thing was from Phil Spencer, when asked in the interview about if they would be slowing down on acquisitions, he just said no. So they're not shy about that. They still want to be competitive and acquire studios if the right fit comes up. But I don't know if they'll do that with ABK. One reason being, if they had acquired anybody else, they'd be overshadowed by ABK. I think they'd potentially do it later, right? Punty says, do I know if Starfield is next gen only? Because I think it could be played by more than 50 million people on Xbox Series X, PC, and last gen mobile Game Pass. Next gen only. It is only on Series X and S for consoles. Sorry, I'm truthful says Xbox should make an MMO based on being in prison. Do you think it would be as big as Minecraft and Fortnite? Xbox should make a MMO based on being in prison. Do you think it would be as big as Minecraft and Fortnite? That's an interesting idea for an MMO. I don't know if that's something Xbox would make. One, and no, I don't think that would be as big as Minecraft and Fortnite. But thanks for the question. I appreciate that. Jay Rembert says, do you think it's possible that Tango Gameworks can potentially pick up Scalebound? I wouldn't trust Platinum with anything, let alone a video game. I don't know. I don't know the contracts or negotiations or whatever took place originally with Scalebound and Platinum. So it's tough to say. It's really tough to say. But I feel like Tango wouldn't necessarily be maybe the best studio to make that game either. All we know from Tango so far is Evil Within games, right? For the most part. This potentially this Hi-Fi Rush game. I don't know what all they're capable of, you know? So I'm really curious about that. I think Scalebound, it was a game that was like a dream creation from Platinum. Now they fucked it off. They screwed that up. But I would really want to see their vision for it if they actually did make it. You know what I mean? Jay Rembert says, wait, that's the one I just read. Sorry about that. Apollo Cooper says, don't forget about Texas Chainsaw in March on Game Pass. Also Perfect Dark kicking off 2024. Ooh. Perfect Dark kicking off 2024. Is that possible? Oof. I doubt it. But I would say maybe summer to holiday 2024 at the earliest. This is just based on nothing, just feelings, because we've literally heard nothing about it in 2.5 years. Now, I am a little pissed off about that, right? Pong said that his prison game would be an MMO based on Jasper's school. Yeah, Jasper told us yesterday when we were playing Warzone that the kids in middle school, at his middle school, when the lights went off, they just beat the shit out of each other. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, man. To kick off 2024 would be exciting. I think kicking off 2024 would be more likely what doesn't hit this holiday, Hellblade 2 or Avowed. I think one of those two could potentially hit this holiday, and the other one could be early next year. Or it could be a game like a Contraband, right? That could be another one that could hit around that time. And who knows what else? They could announce Compulsion's game or something like that. There's still lots of awesome questions coming in. Let's see here. 3-Bit had asked if there any news about the ABK deal that he's missed. I don't know where you got left off with the ABK deal, 3-Bit. But the last thing we heard was that in April, CMA and EU are supposed to be making their decisions. I think it was a CMA, or no, it was the EU. I think that one of the two had gotten pushed back to April after another internal delay because of going over things. The FTC in January, they had their pre-hearing, and basically the FTC had said, okay, we're willing, we've made our team available. We're going to open it up to discussions with Microsoft as well. Microsoft's coming out saying that they are going to close the deal regardless if it closes in the EU and in the CMA, and they will close the deal in the states regardless if the FTC, and they expect the FTC to sue them. Take it to federal court if that happens. I think they're calling the bluff on that if that's the case. But that's all we know right now. I'm 80% confident in the deal closing right now. I have a meter that goes up and down. Jerrold Mack says, is there any news about Splinter Cell? That's a fantastic fucking question, man. Because no, there's not. I accept that it has not been delayed yet. That's the only thing. Because or not delayed, but canceled. The only games that we know of that were canceled were the ones that were like unannounced, right? And they technically announced it. So it's not canceled. So that's good news, right? But Splinter Cell, what we know about it, I can kind of recap it real quick. What we know about Splinter Cell is they're calling it a remake, but I feel like they misled people with that statement, and I feel like it kind of dampened the hype of their announcement a little bit by misusing that word, because all the descriptions they gave about it made it into a reboot. So this Splinter Cell remake is more of a Splinter Cell reboot, because they said this is going to kick off the future of the Splinter Cell franchise if it's successful, and this is going to be the new thing. It's also in the Snowdrop engine as well. So that's another thing we know about it. We know that they are keeping it to the core elements of stealth and what made the original Splinter Cells so good with the pure stealth gameplay. And that's what we know about it right now. We don't know anything about if Sam Fisher's going to be in it. We don't know anything like that, other than the core elements of the game they want to stay true to that. Right. So they said all the right things. They said all the right things about Splinter Cell. We just don't know what it is yet. I mean, when it's coming out, we haven't seen anything about it, but it's more of a reboot than a remake for sure. Let's see what else we got here. All right. So do you think Outer Worlds 2 will improve greatly upon the original? Yes, because they have Microsoft's money. I don't know when that game's coming though, because with that trailer we got, it said we don't even know what the game is yet. But here's the trailer. I mean, it was funny, but I don't even know how far that along they could be with that game. Gone Mad says, do I see myself making it to the release of a new Fallout game? I think Todd said they're the ones that want to make the next true sequel to Fallout, right? So if there is another Fallout game, there could be a spinoff. You could see another studio do that, but the next true big Fallout game will be Bethesda Game Studios. And that'll be after Elder Scrolls 6. So I hope so, but that'll be a ways off. I hope I'm there. Let's see what else we got here. Apollo says, do you feel like 2024 is going to be a year in gaming like 2008, where we get massive games and announcements dropping on top of each other? In 2008, we got GTA 4, Saints Row 2, Fallout 3, Morrowind, same year. Yes, I kind of feel that way. We're going to have a lot of games this year, a lot of big games from third party and everybody. This is going to be a year to remember on all platforms. Now, Final Fantasy 16, Silent Hill 2, Spider-Man 2 are probably going to carry the way for PlayStation this year. For Xbox, you got a lot of stuff coming out. You don't even have any clue what's in the second half. of the year for Xbox right now, but the first half is loaded. And then for Nintendo, you got Zelda. That's all you need to say, right? And then third parties, you got like Hogwarts Legacy, you got Dead Space remake, you got Street Fighter 6, you got Tekken 6, or sorry, Tekken 8. Or was it, which Tekken is it? Is it 8 now? Yeah, Tekken 8, right? Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6. You got Ed Boon's hinted that his game's coming out this year as well, his new game. You got Suicide Squad, Kills the Justice League happening this year. I mean, it's just like, it just smashes 2022 in every conceivable way. Like, it's insane this year compared to last with the amount of big games coming out. It's nuts. All right, let's see what else we got. Sorry, I'm Truthful says, what games do you think will be nominated for Game of the Year 2023? I think Starfield gets a nod. I think potentially Spider-Man 2, Zelda. And then the rest of the games, no clue. But I would count on those three. I would count on those three potentially getting nominated. Also, you could say, if I was to throw in a wild card in there, I would say Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong, could get nominated to be for Game of the Year award. We've had plenty of indie games get nominated before as well. My DMs are still blowing up. I gotta check these DMs. Oh, okay. They're sharing the same stuff. Somebody was late. Was it Psycho that was late? Yeah, Psycho was late on the DMs. Psycho's always late in the DMs. All right, so more questions here. I like this Q&A thing. It's cool. I can kind of see it filters out the questions for me. Let's see here. Do you see Obsidian being a huge support system for Bethesda with Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5, especially if Avowed comes out an Anomaly? Let me read that again. Also, do you see Obsidian being a huge support system for Bethesda, Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5, especially if Avowed comes out? I don't know. That's a good question. But the thing is that Obsidian's got so much stuff going on themselves. Like, they got like 3 or 4. Like, they got Grounded. They got the team there still doing that. They have Avowed. They have Outer Worlds 2. Supposedly they have another game. They just released Pentiment. So I don't know. Like, I know these teams all will be working with each other quite a bit. We've already heard things about some teams helping in support of other things a lot. But man, Obsidian seems like they could be cement themselves up there with like a Bethesda Game Studios, like, and that maybe not at that level, but pretty close. Remember, Obsidian made a Fallout New Vegas, right? And that was like a quick turnaround sequel type game to Fallout, like Fallout 3. That's kind of what Obsidian was in the past. They did Neverwinter Nights 2. They did Fallout New Vegas. You know, they were like, hey, it took BioWare's IP that they made famous with Neverwinter Nights, and they made Neverwinter Nights 2, right? Bethesda came out with Fallout 3, huge success. Obsidian has Fallout New Vegas, right? They were kind of a studio people went to like, hey, we want to take advantage of this IP, get us a game out, right? Obsidian's had failures before with games like Alpha Protocol, which is a cult classic. A lot of people love the game. I want to see that game fully realized, right? But Obsidian's, I mean, I was talking about Obsidian, but Obsidian's come up, you know, they've really come up and submitted themselves because they've gotten the funding now. Like, they've made some of the most memorable games, and they've always been a go-to team that, you know, you can get stuff done with, right? But I want to see what Obsidian can do with Microsoft's full support and backing, you know, like, and really go for it, right? And really go for it. And I don't know if I necessarily want them having to support too much other teams without focusing on themselves. But if they can work together here and there, you know what I mean? I'm all for that. Far Cry 6 is my only Far Cry. Loved it. Last time I cried. With all the Far Cry talk lately, should I play older ones or keep going forward? Honestly, Alvin, my favorite 2 Far Cry games were the first 2. Far Cry 3 was the one that brought it to the masses and really cemented itself to the public. It's like, hey, this is a massive franchise. Now, this is already pretty popular. It was already popular, but it became a massive franchise. The Far Cry 3 was that pinnacle game that achieved that, and it's a more memorable game than 4, 5, or 6. So Far Cry 3, if you want to see like where the current Far Cry formulated from, check out that game for sure. And then, yeah, if you liked it, go play 4 and 5. 5 was, I loved 5. Far Cry 6 is great. The problem with 6 is it's so fucking massive. It's just like so huge. Like I play it, I don't make a dent. I feel like I can spend 3 or 4 hours in there. I don't make a dent towards completion whatsoever. It's crazy. Apollo says, speaking of monumental franchises, where do you see Marcus Phoenix and Master Chief going once Gears 6 and the next Halo project comes out? Should they just be salute franchises and put up? No, they should definitely double down and make more Gears and more Halo. Like, they need to be iconic things that live on. Maybe at some point you say reboot way down the line. I don't know. Who knows exactly? J-Max says, do you see any of the Xbox titles scheduled to drop this year miss? Which one? No, I don't see any of them missing. The one scheduled? No, I don't see any of them missing. It's weird, this questions thing I just had up there, like, it does not show me all the questions, so I was looking at that. So I'm trying to go back through and see any of the ones that I may have missed, right? So J-Mac, I'm confident in all of those titles hitting this year. Let's see. These are just my thoughts. I could be wrong on all this shit, right? But I appreciate you guys asking me my opinion. It's absolutely amazing. And Pong says I'll literally be 57 at a minimum when the Fallout from Bethesda shows up. Bruh. 57. I mean, you're already at, was that next year, Pong? I mean, it's not coming out next year. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? You're 56 now, right, Pong? I mean, you got like 2 teenage grandkids. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just kidding, man. It's not that old. He's only in his 40s, guys. He's only in his 40s. He's just an old 40. If you know what I mean. Just an old 40. Keep going, Halo and Gears, Murder Hornet says. I say that too, man. It's like, why stop it? It's like, yeah, iconic brands. I think you need to figure out how to maximize the potential of them better, right? Like, Halo is a household name, right? Even like, you could go like to a random old person that doesn't play video games and say, have you heard of Halo? Like, I think so, you know? Is that some like game thing or something? You know, like Halo is entrenched within gaming. One of the most important games in gaming at the time, and I feel like it's the most important thing still to Xbox, but it's going to be the thing. Xbox has so much going for it. Like, they have some other titles that are going to be up there. What they got to do is figure out how to maximize the potential of their brands. And I feel like sometimes they've been too risk adverse with some of their big brands out of fear of fear of alienating the community, but in doing so, they're actually caused that to happen, right? Like, and I feel like there's a disconnect at times between 343 and like Xbox execs. I think that's going to change though. I feel like Halo needs to evolve even beyond where it is now, which is fantastic. Gameplay fucking amazing. But I feel like it needs to transcend somehow into another level. And I feel like the way they've been trying to go about that isn't the right way. And I think maybe the right way to go about that is to release more different experiences in different genres and full bore go out with Halo. And that way you have less pressure on one thing, right? I want to see Halo Wars 3 come back. I want to see other Halo spin-off games. How about a Halo horror game focusing on the Flood? You know, how about other stuff? I want to see them go full bore into that. And I want to see them do more with TV shows. I want to see that iconic movie as well that we could have gotten originally from Peter Jackson and Neil Blomkamp. I think there's going to be opportunities out there for them. Gears, the same way. At some point, if they don't get on track to where they should be, not that they're not already great, but then at some point, then you look at, okay, let's take this back to its core, right? And how do we do that? And reboot it in a way and just reinvent it, you know? PlayStation's done that with God of War. It worked wonders for them. Every Mario game that comes out, Zelda's reinventing it. You know, I feel like Xbox could find a way to add some more depth there. I would love to see like a Halo RPG playing as like a first person RPG or third person playing as like a soldier or something like, I don't know, on a planet. We go to visit Reach again, right? And have some kind of like long open world story develop over time with talking to characters. You could do so much. There's so many characters and so many things that can explore and do with Halo. Let's see what else we got. X-Play was the, yeah. Let's see. Halo and Doom crossover. Yeah, that's see. I put this out there a long time ago when I first heard of them acquiring ZeniMax, and that I knew that they're getting id. It's like I started thinking about the possibilities right there, and one of the possibilities was an id horror based Halo game, because we've just been playing some Doom Eternal and stuff at the time, right? And I'm thinking, right, you put a Spartan or an ODST or something, I mean probably an ODST on like an elite ship, right? You put it out there, the Flood shows up, right? And horror themed, dark, and like you're like, if you were playing as a regular soldier trying to face against that, it would be terrifying. You could really do crazy things with that. Tony says this needs to be a weekly show and call it One Speculation. That's a good idea. I appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. You guys will rock. That Subaru though says I feel like they're just gonna drop it the next month or March after showcase. Let's say showcase late February and release 2 weeks later. So hey man, if you tuned into the earlier part of the show, we went all over all of that stuff, and we're not too far off on that. Make Halo a third-person linear game with Gears level graphics. I think different experiences out there made by different developers is definitely possible with Halo. Ask out there, put out a word to the teams. Put out a word to all the teams. Is anybody here in all of our massive amount of studios interested in making something in the Halo universe, right? See who responds, and then let them come up with the idea and pitch it. If it works, if it sounds like a good idea, run with it. Why not? You know, same thing with Gears. Why not? I think it could be amazing. I would also, I'm going to put this out there. Dream game. Okay. Dream game. Like I'm a RTS fan. I love RTS games. If you don't make Halo Wars 3, okay, listen up. If you don't make Halo Wars 3 Xbox, this is what you need to do. You need to make Xbox RTS something. Just name it something crazy. Like I don't know what you call it, but I want a RTS game, a real-time strategy game, like in the vein of Command and Conquer, Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle Earth, all that stuff, right? But I want it with factions from Gears, Halo, Elder Scrolls. See what else? What other IPs can we throw out there that Xbox owns? Doom. Imagine that, right? Like you got factions from all these different things coming out, and you know, build a like as your bases and stuff themed around those, and the characters and stuff you could put out there. Wolfenstein, Fable, yeah, you could do so much cool stuff, man. You get pair up again with Sega, get Creative Assembly on board or Relic or something, and you make this huge blown out RTS game with factions from all the different game universes from Xbox now. It'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing. You get ABK in there. Oh my God. You talk about Blizzard could help with it at that point. Be amazing. RTS. Nobody's done like a mashup RTS game like that. You know, we've had individual IP-based RTS games, right? But you haven't had this huge mashup of just a bunch of different like characters from one like platform or one like ecosystem, you know. It would be like the Smash Bros of RTS games. Could be amazing. You could have your heroes too. Imagine the heroes. Like a lot of RTS games, like in my mind, I'm thinking Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2 because there's a lot of different factions to choose from in that, and they each had their own heroes. There's lots of heroes within that too. Imagine being able to like have heroes as well. Like Halo Wars has heroes too, right? Imagine being able to have your heroes and stuff with all these different universes. It'd be insane. Oh my God, it'd be nuts. I'd love it. Yeah, Minecraft Legends, the next RTS, Age of Empires 4 coming out to consoles as well as happening this year. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I feel like it's gonna wrap it up for tonight. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna have some dinner. And we will be back tomorrow for Fun Speculation Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Time with Jasper and Fuzzy and Psychonauts, and we're gonna have a blast tomorrow night. Hopefully there's some more news tomorrow. We'll see. Like I said, tomorrow's a holiday. Sometimes they don't do news on holidays, so we'll see that if that happens or not. But so again, that's at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be taking a look at the games releasing for the week ahead on FSP. Also on Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Pong Soul and I will be there. We will have PM in the PM as always. And we have a special guest this week, everybody. Randall Thor himself, Randall Thor 19 himself, the man with a million, will be hanging out with us on PM in the PM on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So come hang out with Pong and Rand and I on Thursday. And then Friday night, Xbox Ultimate Podcast will be back at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We went an hour earlier this week because Gaz was there, and you know he's in Europe, so in the UK, I believe actually, and so we weren't able to go at a regular time. I wanted to make it an hour earlier for him, right? But we'll be back at our regular time now at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll have a fantastic time on that show as well. Looking for some more game streams coming up this week as well. Maybe some Warzone, Midnight Suns, or whatever else we feel like playing. And if you like the content here, everybody, remember, hit the like button, share and subscribe to the channel. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. You guys are amazing. And shout out to all my friends out there for watching. You guys rock. Peace out. Have a good one. Bye.